And finally, communism. Communism is a government and economic system where there is no state, no money, no classes, no private property, and all the means of production and consumption are seized and distributed on the basis of need. Basically, communism is anarchy, but all your needs are met, and there's no want. Yes, I'm covering economic systems, but the thing is that communism is both a governmental system and economic system. The two are inseparable in communism, unlike all the economic systems I've talked about. Also, here's a common fact that needs to be busted, and that is the Soviet Union and China are communist, but in actuality, they're not. How? Well, remember what communism is. Communism is a government and economic system where there is no state, no money, no classes, no private property, and all the means of production and consumption are seized and distributed on the basis of need. Let's go over each point. First, no state. Well, the Soviet Union, China from 1949 to 1976, I'll explain later why China is separated, and China today have a government which is the state. So immediately, the Soviet Union, China from 1949 to 1976, and China today aren't communist because if a country doesn't meet all of these qualifications, they're not communist. But we'll continue on. Second, no money. And of course, the Soviet Union, China from 1949 to 1976, and China today have money, so we can cross that out. Third, no classes. The Soviet Union and China from 1949 to 1976 didn't have the class system we have, i.e. poor, middle class, and rich. It was basically just the people in the Communist Party and everyone else. But that's just still classes, so we can cross that out. And of course, China today has the class system we have due to it not having a socialist economy anymore, which I'll explain later when we get into seizing all the means of production. Fourth, no property. The Soviet Union and China from 1949 to 1976 had no private property, so we can check that. And for today, in 2004, China amended its constitution to give citizens the right to private property and protections for it. So since 2004, China has private property, so we can cross that out. Fifth, seizing all the means of production. The Soviet Union and China from 1945 to 1976 had a socialist economy due to all industries being nationalized, so we can check that. For China today, China since 1976, after the death of Mao Zedong, has been privatizing its economy with a mix of nationalized industries and privatized industries. So clearly, de-seizing the means of production, so we can cross that out. Sixth, and finally, seizing all the means of consumption. The Soviet Union, China from 1949 to 1976, and China today clearly didn't seize all the means of consumption due to having money, putting the means of consumption in the people and not the government. So we can clearly cross that out. And because of all these factors, the Soviet Union, China from 1949 to 1976, and China today aren't communist. So if all three aren't communist, then what are they? Well, from looking at the chart, both the Soviet Union and China from 1949 to 1976 had no private property, and they seized all the means of production. Having no private property doesn't really help in trying to figure out what the Soviet Union and China from 1949 to 1976 were. So all we're left is seizing all the means of production, and we already know what economic system involves seizing all the means of production. And that is socialism. And we also know that the Soviet Union and China from 1949 to 1976 were authoritarian, and also China today is still authoritarian. So what can we call the Soviet Union and China from 1949 to 1976? Socialist Authoritarians. It's perfect. It describes what both countries are. Countries that have a socialist economy and an authoritarian government. And basically, the communist parties of both the Soviet Union and China from 1949 to 1976 were communist in name only, when in actuality, they espoused socialist authoritarianism and not communism. And you can apply this to all communist countries of the past, like countries in the Warsaw Pact, including my homeland of Romania, when it was a socialist authoritarian country from 1947 to 1989. And the communist countries of today, like Cuba, North Korea, Vietnam, and Laos, they're all socialist authoritarian countries, not communist countries. Now, what about China today? The reason I separate China into China from 1949 to 1976 and China today is because China from 1949 to 1976 was a socialist authoritarian country, while China today is different. So what is China today? Well, remember what I said about China today in seizing all the means of production section? For China today, China since 1976, after the death of Mao Zedong, has been privatizing its economy with a mix of nationalized industries and privatized industries. So clearly, deseizing the means of production. So yeah, China since 1976 has been privatizing, causing China to no longer have a socialist economy, resulting in an economy with both a private industry and nationalized industry it has today. So what economic system does China of today have? Well, looking at the five major economic systems I've mentioned, it feels like China today is either a neoliberalist or a liberalist economy. With China today having a large amount of nationalized industries, allowing a free market, and China finally banning its 996 work culture, making it lean towards liberalism. But me not knowing the amount of regulations that China has on its free market makes it lean towards neoliberalism. So, which one? I honestly don't know. But I'll just go with liberalism due to China of today having a large amount of nationalized industries. If I'm wrong, call me out, please. Anyways, of course, we all know China of today is still authoritarian. So what can we call China of today? A liberalist authoritarian country, and not a communist country. Again, the Communist Party of China is communist in name only. Alright, this massive tangent is over. I went on it because I always wanted to dispel this common understanding that the Soviet Union and China are communist because, from the evidence I've shown, it's false. The Soviet Union and China from 1949 to 1976 were socialist authoritarian countries, with China today being a liberalist authoritarian country. And all three aren't communist. Period. Alright, back to finishing talking about the five major economic systems.